After getting this thing shoved down our throats by Joe Rogan for months, Bryan Callen's new special finally dropped, and to be completely honest, it's terrible. And look, I know a lot of people in the comedy world say Bryan was never funny, that he was always the weakest guy in every lineup. But I actually disagree. Like, Bryan used to be funny, not groundbreaking, not legendary funny, but he had energy and a weird charm that made him entertaining. He played the hyperactive uncle character really well.
Sometimes you can cut through all the bullshit and just go, hey, bro, what do you want? Really? What would you ask for if you knew you couldn't be refused? Let's start there.
Oh, wow. That's a great...
That question sucks. What would I ask for? I got everything I need. House, Tesla, health. Fuck off. What would I ask for? I'd like to be 6'3" and have an easy and dangerous bone structure. I want to walk in and just be fucking physically intimidating. I want to smell like leather and tobacco, but I don't wear leather and I don't smoke tobacco. I want to be dangerous. I want to be a natural Spartan. Like the guys I saw when I was in Afghanistan doing stand-up, and they walked by me and they weren't wearing uniforms and they had long hair and they looked like lion men. And I, the fucking gazelle, the cowardly gazelle, full of points, full of my delicate points and my long liability of a neck. I looked like a baby giraffe as I looked at them and followed them. And it turns out they were something like Delta.
I know. And he wasn't that funny, but at least he had a spark. But whatever that spark was, it's gone. This special makes it painfully obvious he's running on fumes. Most of the special is just him doing the same jokes every other Rogan Sphere comic already beat to death, except now it's coming from an older guy trying to keep up.
Maybe also just being older and seeing all these young kids who probably majored in equality, and I'm just it's not my generation, and he's wearing a dress and a beard, and it just looked like a revolution. It looked like change that I wasn't included in. That's what happens when I see young people ambitious. Let's change the world,
This horrible performance is especially ironic considering everything he bragged about on Rogan.
And one of the great things about stand-up is, no matter where I am, I know I got that. Like, I'll put me in front of a group, a crowd of 100, 200, 300 people, doesn't matter. I don't care who they are. I'm going to make them laugh. I know how to navigate that space for an hour.
But not anymore, Bryan. Not anymore.
Maybe it makes some sense. I kept thinking about that. I was like, the whole transgender movement, that happened in this zeitgeist, not mine. And I always think about why. It's very interesting, And I just think about, because when I was growing up, there was one transgender person, and they did a 60-minute special about them. And I know. And now, like, 30% of you are trans. I don't know. But, I don't know what it's very interesting to me, because it kind of happened. It happened 2015 when Bruce Jenner had an 8-hour operation, and he woke up Caitlyn Jenner. And then a minute later, he won Woman of the Year. And that, I remember that. That was crazy. And I remember I'm just a bunch of conservatives and traditional Americans. I was like, I have some questions, And we quickly found out the time for questions was over, bigot. This has all been settled science. We don't need your voice. We saw what you did to the other minorities, Whitey, And I was like, what? And, because her support system was very, very strong. And vast. I'm talking about, I don't know, let's see. All of the fashion industry, all of Hollywood, all of corporate America, all of legacy media, all of big tech. And that's a formidable group of people. They can make or break you.
At some point, it doesn't even feel like stand-up anymore. It just turns into an older guy rambling about the same culture war stuff we've all heard a million times.
What's the point of learning anything when AI can do it better tomorrow? That's the other thing that kid is facing.
It's kind of ironic that the special he's been promoting for months ends up being the one where the audience looks completely lost. From a room of roughly 200 people, you can hear maybe 5 actually laughing.
Thought to myself, the future for me, bright, something I could predict. For that kid, it feels like an impending tsunami. It doesn't feel cozy. Blockchain. Autonomous robots. I can't wait, And I thought about that too. The grid's not going to break down, but the machines aren't going to kill us. They don't have to. Why would you kill your own slaves?
Everyone else is just sitting there trying to figure out what he's even talking about. The ending somehow makes everything even worse.
Yeah, man. You think the iPhone 16 is addictive? Wait till AI 1000 gets here.
Instead of closing with an actual joke, he shifts into this dramatic phones are destroying humanity speech. and then he tries to tie it all together with this big, meaningful takeaway. The kind of line he clearly thinks is clever and deep, but it just comes off cheesy and forced. You can practically feel the room checking out.
Damn. And I thought about that too as I looked around that coffee shop and I saw everybody bent over their phones like broken monks in this unholy communion, just having thoughts, thinking they wanted to be somebody else, wanted to be somewhere else, just dragging their thumbs, just a nation of drug addicts. Dopamine, cortisol, adrenaline, dopamine, cortisol, adrenaline. And I thought to myself, damn, maybe it's not a coincidence that this machine I can't turn myself away from. Maybe it's not a coincidence that this machine is also called the Apple.
Well, after a performance this rough, it's hard to imagine anything good coming out of Bryan's career from here. And it's not like he has a strong backup plan either. His podcast with Brendan isn't doing great. The vibe has been off for a long time. And even Brendan, of all people, basically admitted it. Just recently, he was low-key blaming Bryan for the show falling apart, talking about how the energy is dying. During a recent Q&A, Brendan Schaub basically blamed Bryan Callen for the podcast falling apart.
Going through what we went through, I think the biggest struggle I have is trying to still bring the kid out of Bryan. I always told Bryan he's Peter Pan, but when what happened to him, Bryan has this light that I've never met anybody that has more young blood flowing through their body at his age. That's what me and Bryan get along so well. He's so fun and so positive, so happy. And then fucking the false Me Too movement happened and that light went dim. So my job, and whether you guys can tell or not on the show, is to bring that light out of Bryan. I gotta ignite that light back. I don't know how. I don't know if it's ever gonna happen. And not only for the show, for Bryan's life. Yeah. Somehow I'm trying to ignite that young heart of Bryan's. That's what I'm trying to do.
He said the show went downhill because of what happened to Bryan, not because of anything he did. The same Brendan who's always like, yeah, I'm just trying to bring the kid out of Bryan and talking all that motivational nonsense, was clowning on Bryan recently when he got scammed.
Callen, Chris, you're going to love this.
Oh, no.
Callen last week goes, bro, because he's doing promotion for his special.
Bro, I've heard about this. Who told me
No,
about this?
hold on. Let me tell the story.
I won't ruin it.
Eric, you're going to love this. Eric, you'll love this.
This is insane. I can't wait for you to tell this. This is insane.
It's so good. It's so good. So Bryan goes, last week he comes in.
Great.
Yeah, it's so good. I'm so glad I remembered. He's coming from the frog here, Mr. Halloween. So Bryan last week comes in all chipper, which he's been down lately, and he's coming out with his special. He's doing promo. He goes, dude, guess whose show I'm going on next week? I go, Rogan? He goes, already did Rogan. Amy Poehler reached out, man. I'm going on her podcast. I'm like, oh, that's cool. He goes, yeah, I worked with her years ago, man. We know each other well.
Yeah,
no, get ready.
Just go ahead. Keep going.
Get ready. So
take as long as you want with this beautiful story.
Hey, this fucking idiot, he's in Manhattan Beach doing something, and he gets an email, goes, hey, so let's just run through things to make sure your Zoom's all set up.
The producer
Callen's
hits
like,
him up
all right.
or something? Yeah.
It's his producer. So Bryan's doing it from his phone. The guy's like, oh, no, you got, like, dude, this is a big podcast. You got to do it from your laptop. So Bryan gets his laptop out. He's doing it. And the guy keeps telling him to do this stuff, and the guy has like an accent, and Bryan's like, man, I just don't know. And the guy goes, yeah, it's tough. I'll tell you what, why don't you give me access, share the screen with me, and I'll make sure it's set up for when Amy comes on. Bryan's like, oh, okay, here's, I'll give you full access. So the guys keep talking, and Bryan goes, wait, hold on. You're Amy Poehler's producer? And he goes, yeah, but he has like a heavy Russian accent. And he goes, and you're Russian? The guy goes, oh, no, I'm Israeli. And he's the worst person to do this to because Bryan knows accents because he grew up all over the world. Bryan goes, no, you're not. You're Russian. And the guy just hangs up. So it came out this was all a scam.
Yeah,
such a boomer
with
move.
a phone
Such
call.
a boomer move.
Although I'm not a fan of either Brendan or Bryan, it's just a fact that Bryan was never really treated right on that podcast. And now it's sad seeing him get blamed for the whole thing falling apart. The show has been slowly dying for a while, and everyone knows it's not just because Bryan lost interest. Ever since the early days, fans have noticed how Schaub takes over conversations, gets defensive about criticism, and avoids taking any blame.
She's dating a girl now. She's dating Miley Cyrus's daughter.
She used to date Bella Thorne.
When the podcast first got big, their chemistry worked. But over time, that balance faded, especially after Bryan's scandal in 2020. After that, Bryan stepped away for a while, and the podcast was never the same. If you want more breakdowns like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button.